Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today is January 13th, 2025. This is the Thornapple Kellogg Schools Board of Education regular scheduled meeting. It's 7 p.m. We are in the Early Education Center in the boardroom. Can we please have a roll call of the board?
Brock?
Here.
Smith?
Here.
Hess? Here. Winger?
Here.
Price?
Here.
Hilton? Here. Stanton? Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Welcome to our new board members. It's your first night. Reminder, when you are speaking, please make sure to turn on your microphone so the live stream can pick you up. Also, if anyone is speaking today or plan to speak today, we ask that you go to the podium. Please make sure you're using the microphone as well so the live stream can pick you up. Thank you. Right now it's the Pledge of Allegiance. Please be mindful of your hats. Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Can I hear a motion to adopt the agenda or to amend it?
President, I would like to motion to move 3A above organization of the board.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Stanton to move agenda item 3A to above, that'd be item 2, the organization of the board. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
And there is a second. Any discussion? Okay, can we have a roll call vote on that, please, Ms. Hess?
Stanton?
Yes.
Hilton?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
Winger?
Yes.
Hess? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Brock?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. So with that amendment, we're going to move the recognition, the public recognition that we have on the agenda up to right now. If we could please have, Mr. Anson, do you know the people?
I do. Where's Bob Kaminsky, my old friend? How are you, Bob? Good, how are you? Good to see you again. Okay.
Can we please have the board members up and in front, please? Thank you.
All right, Bob, come on.
Yeah, right here. Thank you.
Bob Kaminsky, our resident scratch golfer, is here to introduce to us a student who excels in his favorite sport.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. Thanks for having us, by the way, and recognizing Oleta. She is awesome. She finished third at regionals this year, made state finals 2 years in a row. She finished sixth this year at the state finals. She is just an unbelievable competitor. I'm gonna miss her because she's a senior, and she competes the right way. She's highly competitive, but she's also very supportive of those that she's playing with too. She'll just help them on the golf course and just does a really great job. And yeah, she's amazing.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you for recognizing.
Yes, thank you guys for having us.
That's it. That's all I got.
As is our custom, we ask, we all want to shake your hand.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
That talent will rub off.
Thank you very much. No, not yet. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, we got one more.
One more?
Okay.
We do. Is this our custom to stand here?
Yes.
To recognize ourselves or yourselves?
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, it is a special month, all through the state of Michigan, as it is Board Recognition Month. It's a very difficult job, folks giving up their their time to come and serve their communities, the students that we all serve. And so I believe there's some sort of a presentation. Erica, help me out.
Right here, right here.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Can you guys use the microphone, please, when you're speaking?
Sure, yep, thank you.
Tom,
Yeah.
Yes.
So is my task. I'm Amanda Hooksma. I'm the director here at Early Childhood Center, and some of my staff and I would like to recognize and thank you for your service and welcome the new members. Apparently, it's custom that students come. I have littles, and they're mostly in bed already, but I am presenting to you tonight, and there's a little video at the end of the presentation that hopefully will tide you over so I don't have students. But we have gifts. They colored the bags for you, and there's lots of handmade pictures in here also, so. There's names on there,
Oh,
so.
okay.
And it's nice to meet you. I remember.
Okay, thank you. TK Board of Education.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is the election of the officers. This would be for the term for all of 2025. To make the public and everyone aware of how this is going to go down, we're going to move one officer position at a time. We will open the floor to nominations. We will then close for nominations. If two people are nominated for a position, we'll then have a vote, okay? If there is more than two people nominated, there's a chance or a possibility that there's a tie in the vote. If a tie does occur, we will revote on the two people that are then tied, okay? Once we have the votes tallied for one position, and one position is decided upon, we will then go and move on to the next position. So we will go president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. At the end, once it's decided, we will then have a motion to then make official the nominations and the results of the nominations and the votes. Okay? All right. So right now, I'm going to open up the floor for nominations for president. Any board member can nominate at this time.
I nominate Dave Smith.
I nominate Derek Brock, but you can also nominate yourself too, right?
I believe you can. So that is a nomination of Dave Smith by Mr. Winger and a nomination of Derek Brock by Ms. Stanton. Any other nominations? Nominations are now closed for the presidency. Ms. Hess, could you please roll call the board?
Stanton?
Can you repeat what I'm?
You are voting on the two people that were nominated, Dave Smith or Derek Brock.
Okay, so I just say Derek Brock.
Smith?
Derek.
Hilton?
Derek.
Smith?
I'm sorry, please wait till
Oh,
we call
sorry.
on Mark.
I was
Go
in
ahead,
order.
Brenda.
Price, go ahead. Sorry.
Smith.
Winger?
Smith.
Hess, Smith, and did I miss anybody?
Me.
Oh, Derek, yep, sorry.
I vote Dave Smith. So as I read it, the counts are 4 votes, Mr. Dave Smith, and 3 votes, Derek Brock. So Dave Smith will be our president based on votes cast by the board. I am now opening the floor up for nominations for vice presidency.
I would like to nominate myself for vice president. I will dedicate the time this position deserves, as well as be loyal to my oath of office and community. I appreciate any votes from the board. I will also promise to follow our board policies to the best of my ability.
I nominate Derek Brock. I think it's good to have experienced people in positions like that, so I think it, on that basis, I think it's appropriate for Derek to be vice president.
I nominate Derek Brock for vice president.
Any other nominations for vice president? All right, nominations are closed for the vice presidency. Brenda, could we please roll call the board? Just to be clear, the 2 people that were nominated, Katie Stanton and Derek Brock.
Price,
Derek? Brock?
Winger,
Derek Brock?
Hess, Brock. Hilton,
Brock.
Stanton,
Stanton.
Smith,
Derek Brock?
and Brock.
Derek Brock. All right, by the votes cast by the board, Derek Brock has the vice presidency. We are now opening nominations for the treasurer. I would like to nominate Tyler Winger as the treasurer of the board.
I nominate Tyler Winger as well.
Any other nominations? Okay. Nomination period for the treasurer is closed. Since there was only 1 nomination, Tyler Winger automatically wins the role of being the treasurer for the board. I'm now opening up the floor for nominations for secretary of the board.
I nominate Brenda Hess.
With my experience as secretary on other boards, I would nominate myself.
Are there any other nominations for secretary of the board?
I'll nominate myself as well.
All right, the nomination period for the secretary of the board is now closed. And just for the record, we have Brenda Hess as a nominee, Kira Hilton as a nominee, and Katie Stanton as a nominee. Sorry, Brenda, just giving you time here.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, nope, nope,
Yeah.
just giving you time. I know
No, all
you're
right.
right. Go ahead. If you could roll call the board, please.
Sure. Brock,
Hess.
Hess, Winger,
Hess.
Price,
Hess.
Hilton,
I'll say Hess.
I'm sorry,
I'll say Hess.
Stanton,
I'll say Hilton.
and Smith.
Hess.
By the votes cast by the board, Brenda Hess wins the secretary role on the board. That will close the election of the officers. We now need a motion to make these votes and these nominations official. Is there anyone that would like to make the motion?
I will make a motion to make Smith president, Brock vice president, Winger treasurer, and Hess secretary. Support.
Motion by Winger, support by Smith. Any discussion? Brenda, can we roll call the board, please?
Smith,
Yes.
Hess, yes. Winger,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Stanton,
Yes.
Smith.
Sorry, Brock.
Oh, Brock, sorry.
Yes.
Lot going on over here.
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Okay, with that motion being official, Mr. Dave Smith is now the president of the board. He will take over the meeting from here on out.
You can just pass.
Would you like the gavel?
Pass the
I'm
gavel.
fine.
There you go.
Well, since we didn't really know who would be in what offices, it's customary, and according to our bylaws, the president assigns people to committees. I'd suggest that we postpone it until we can make it official at the next meeting that we have, whether that's our workshop or the next month's meeting. So,
Are there any planned committee meetings between now and possibly February?
not that,
The
Not that I
school
was aware of either.
improvement doesn't have any curriculum
I'm sorry.
meetings. Because according to the AG class.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I believe we have a finance committee at 6:30 PM at the February board meeting for the budget revision one.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for the AG class, they meet with DIT.
Okay, well, since it doesn't require action from the board, I can draft the committees and then float them to you, and then we can be aware of it, and we can discuss it. I don't want to assume, though, that every suggestion I make is going to be perfect. So if you have feedback for me on the suggestions I make, feel free.
Okay.
With that, let's see, we need to move to board member reimbursement. Our reimbursement is currently set at, I believe, $25 per meeting. Is there anyone who would like to suggest a change or would like to keep it the same? We have a motion?
I move that we keep the current reimbursement of $25 per meeting.
I'll second.
Then motion by Hess, supported by Winger, that we keep the board member reimbursement the same. Any discussion on the motion? I don't think we need roll call for that.
That's just a voice vote.
Yep.
We do need a.
No, just a voice vote.
We need a board vote. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, we've already done recognition. And so now is opportunity for public input. It's the practice of the Board of Education to permit people from the audience to make statements at this time, and at other times during the meeting, it's at the option of the presiding officer of the board. I'd just like to read a little bit of guidelines that we like to share with people who are about to give input to the board. According to the Board of Education policy, the Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Members of the public may address the Board of Education during public comment for up to 3 minutes. Speakers will be recognized by the presiding officer and are asked to state their name, address, and group affiliation if applicable. As a reminder, all comments shall be directed to the board and not to staff or other participants. No participant may speak more than once. Participants may not behave in a manner that is disruptive to the orderly conduct of the meeting. The Board of Education does not respond to public comment. The superintendent, however, will follow up with speakers when appropriate. At this time, we'll begin public comment. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? I don't have any cards. I don't know if anybody turned any in, but is there anybody who'd like to address the board?
Turn this on?
No, there you go.
All right. My name is Greg Huson. I live here in the district. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, but as the meeting got started, and sitting in, I see there's a lot of people here. I'd just like to encourage the board with the new members. I don't know some of the things that some people were saying or referring to, the AGDIT. So I would encourage the board to make sure that we know in the audience as we're attending the meeting what specifically is being talked about. Because I've attended some board, excuse me, I've attended some board meetings in the past, as my wife sat on the board, but as this process is starting, some of the things that were said already are unclear. And I would like clarification on those. So that's it.
Thank you.
I agree.
Anyone else? Thank you, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's close public comment. Consent grouping. Any consent grouping item can be removed for separate consideration. Otherwise, the consent grouping items will be adopted in one motion with a roll call vote. Is there anything anyone would like to see recognize or discuss separately?
I'll make a motion to approve the items of the consent grouping 3A through 3C.
I'll second.
Been motioned by Winger, seconded by Brock to approve the consent grouping items as presented. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, sir, President. There are some questionable amounts under the accounts payable that I would like to call to concern, but I'm under the impression that the person who's supposed to answer that is not here. So, should I just? So basically, for one of the concerns, there's accounts payable, so we sent out a check to Berry County Community Foundation for $1. And I'm not sure if that's a donation or what that interaction looks like. Also, I noticed that the GISD is for the superintendent search when I understood before I became a board member that search was being conducted by like a private company, and it seems to be under a ISD. Also, the Berry County Treasurer, I'm not sure about that, and those funds that get sent to Berry County Treasurer. In addition, Berry County United Way has a void check for $0, and this is only December. This is just a snippet of what a year would look like, but those are just questionable items. So I just wanted to, point that out.
Well, ordinarily, when people have questions about expenditures, they call the office and ask our superintendent to look into them for them.
Okay.
Would you be willing to do that and talk with Tom tomorrow and get the information you need?
Yep, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? We have a motion to adopt the consent grouping items as presented. Could we have roll call, please?
Hilton,
Yes.
Stanton,
No.
Price,
Yes.
Wenger,
Yes.
Hess, yes, Smith,
Yes.
Brock.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Board items for information, Early Childhood Center building update.
Okay, Amanda Booksma. Where's Amanda? Amanda, I have not.
Still hiding.
No. She does have Mindy and Amber and Angie here to support her, but thank you, Amanda.
That was not part of our deal that they would come up. All right. Well, again, I'm Amanda Hooksma. This is my second year, second full school year as the early childhood director here in our beautiful building. And I won't take up a whole lot of your time, but I'd love to share some amazing things that are happening here in this building. So remind me how I flip. Slide. Turn it on. Got it. Okay. So this year we hit a new milestone. We tipped the scales over 200 students. So that's a very fun, exciting thing for us. Every day is busy around this place, and every day is a new day. We have a good balance of 4-year-old sections and 3-year-old sections. We have early childhood special education, and we also have an inclusion program woven through our GSRP 4-year-old program. Following the strategic plan for academics and programming, we do academics and programming, even though they're little, but a lot of what we do here is learning with the kiddos and they're learning through their peers. So a lot of our tracking or our data looks a little different than in the other buildings, but we still do have data. A lot of that is anecdotal notes and observations. We start out the beginning of the school year and we get our baseline screener from our parents. So they are the ones that give us that data, and then from there we can build programming around their needs. 2 things that I'd like to highlight this year for us, we have been fully engaged with the PLC process. So the same thing that the other buildings are doing, we're doing here at the Early Childhood Center. We are focused on social and emotional because that's the foundation for all of learning. And I am really proud of our team. We've crossed all the programs. They're all at the table, which is a big milestone for us this year. And we were able to set our 5 essential standards for social emotional learning, and we're working through proficiency scales currently. So we are making really good headway. And once we get our feet wet there, we'll dive into the other pieces of the academics. And then the other exciting thing I'd like to share is MTSS is coming to the ECC. So right now we have it K-12, and we were invited to be one of Kent ISD's first cohorts for early childhood. We're with 4 other districts, and we are fully engaged with this. It's a lot of work. So we have our leadership team formed currently. We've gone over a lot of training within that. We just rolled out after Christmas break a presentation for all of our staff to start learning what that will look like. And I will be working with all of our staff to get trained on what they call as the pyramid model practices. So that's the foundation for MTSS and PAS at early childhood. Some of our team is trained, some of our team needs the training, so that's something we'll be doing over the course of the next 6 months to the end of the school year. And the really exciting thing is we will be able to tie into the Swiss system, which they currently track behavioral data here in district for the K-12. We'll be able to have that for our early childhood kiddos. So essentially a kiddo coming to us at age 3, we'll have data for them all the way until graduation. So that will be a really exciting thing once we get up and rolling with all of that. A couple other things I'd like to highlight about our academics and programming. Because of PLCs, I am very proud of all of my staff doing the hard work with that. But what we have, I had one teacher say to me, I've never seen 3-year-old, 4-year-old in special ed sit at the same table and talk about the same kids and be able to do something. Some of my staff members attend these board meetings, and they heard a presentation last year from McFall about how there's some co-teaching going on in that building, and they came to me afterwards and said, how can we do that here? So through the PLC process, they've started collaborating. And so in the afternoon, some of our half-day sections, those teachers are working together so our special ed students are pushing into our gen ed classes, or vice versa, and they're running small groups and they're working together. So kiddos that might not have had that experience are now getting that because the teachers have had the time to sit beside each other and look at those needs. So thank you for allowing us to be part of that process. learning and environment. This beautiful building is geared towards our kids, so everything around here is student-focused. Everything is at their level, even the fingerprints and the other things that are all over our windows, because we have a lot of windows. But we celebrate our kids, we love them, and we love them being here. Some of the things that we found as gaps, we've started to build in. So last year, one of the things we noticed was literacy, like building in that home connection with literacy. We don't have a library in our building. So last year, through some grants we wrote, we got a mobile library, and we rolled it out last year. Took us a little bit to bring it back this year because we had to get used to coming to school. But we're up and running. We started in November, and every Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, if you step in this building right outside these fine doors, there's a mobile library, and the kids love it. And you can hear a teacher reading. It's a great program, and the community really wrapped us and supported it really nicely, and we have a ton of books. And the pressure is, if the book gets ripped, it gets ripped. It's not the end of the world, but they love taking books from school and reading at home and then picking a new one. A couple other things we noticed was if it's cold out or if it's raining, we have a gym, which is a blessing because we did not have a gym in our old space. But you can only fit so many preschoolers in there before it gets too loud and overwhelming for them. So our occupational therapists put together like a mobile gross motor cart. So then we can utilize different spaces in the building so our kids are still moving because they need that movement, and on cold days, they still need movement. And the other thing is we have a sensory path that we have out in the hallway now, which is on with tape, but it also is another way to get those bodies moving and kind of a variety of learning. If you walk into any of our preschool classrooms, one thing I really love is we use something called conscious discipline, which is relationship-based. But if you walk into any preschool classroom, we have a family wall. Every teacher does it a little different, but every family and every student that we have is represented in that classroom. And we've used that as an area for students to find comfort when they're having a hard time separating. Because when they're little, sometimes saying bye to mom, dad, grandma, grandpa is tough. And so that's a place that we can bring them to make that connection. And they're really proud of showing off their families. And the biggest thing about our environment is we're full. This year we are running 10 preschool classrooms. Every classroom in this building is currently being used for early childhood. So that is a very exciting thing. Moving forward for communication and community engagement, we don't have preschool without a family partnership. They are trusting us. They don't have to send their kids to preschool, but they trust us with their kiddos, and we value and recognize that. One thing that I think is unique to us is in real time, every classroom utilizes some sort of app. We currently use 2 different programs, one through the ISD for the GSRB classrooms, and then the other classrooms in our building use a different app. But same concept, they get pictures, videos of their kids throughout the day. So sometimes just when that mom leaves and that little is having a hard time saying goodbye, it's as hard for that little as it is for mom. And so just getting that picture that, oh, they're okay after they leave is reassuring enough. So that is something that I think has really been a helpful thing. And mom and dad or whoever picks up can ask what happened during the day, and they kind of already know because they got the picture, and it's a good connection to have that conversation when they get picked up. A couple other things, we do family engagement surveys twice a year, and from that survey last year, one thing that we heard was families need some sort of wraparound care for before and after preschool. So this year we have piloted a wraparound preschool program. So we offer care an hour before traditional preschool starts and then 2 hours after. And it has been valued and utilized. At open house, I heard a family say, we were gonna make some major life changes, but now because of this, we don't have to. So we listen to what they need. And then the last thing, we host play groups every other Friday here in the building, birth to 5. And what we have found is it's a great feeder to our preschool programs. So from the playgroups last year, we had 33 students that attended preschool or the playgroups last year that are now enrolled in our program. And this year we've had 98 different families attend our playgroups. And it's just a great connection. They meet staff, so every playgroup is ran by one of our 3-year-old teachers, and then they rotate the other staff members, so then they get to know all the different staff in our building. So it's a friendly face when they then send their kids to us the following years. And we participate in several different community events to try to get the word out there that we are here for the community. And as promised, here's the video of our beautiful littles. From all the staff and students at the Thornapple Kellogg. Ready, set, go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you have it. Thank you. Does anybody
Thank you.
have questions?
I have a
Or is that-
question.
Yeah.
So, just in past research and talking to some of my friends that are also in education, do I have to hold it down?
Nope, just push the button.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So, my question is, do you guys do professional development for trauma-informed teaching?
So we go through Great Start to Quality, which is part of the state. It's kind of like blue ribbon schools in comparison. So there's quality levels for early childhood. And so in the last year or 2 years, I guess now, we've gone through it and we've been quality rated. And part of that quality rating gives us specific professional development topics that we have to make sure that we trade on every year.
Okay.
That is one of them.
Awesome, perfect. Thank you. And my last question, for the mobile library, who chooses those books and are they reviewed before they're put out for the kids?
They were all donations. And so we do have a wish list from teachers. So when you have a special book or a book that every kid wants to read, so we ask like, hey, what are your hot books in your classroom? But the majority, so I've personally gone through all of them and stickered them. And anything, our PTO was another partner that they were able to go through and sticker. We've weeded out like ones that were not typical preschool classroom, but I don't believe anybody has reviewed any of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions?
I think the fact that we have 202 students in this building is a testament to how awesome the community is
Yeah.
to provide it, and we filled it, which creates another problem, expansion.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a lot better than
It's a good
empty
problem.
classrooms, yes.
But a big thank you to the staff, because you guys are the first representation of TK schools to that community. Those people in the community, sometimes people are moving in for the first time, sometimes people move and they begin to raise their family here. So thank you for being a representative for all of us.
And your level of patience gets a gold
Yeah,
star.
there you go.
It does look like a really fun place to be. Come play. Thank you. Okay, new high school course proposal. This is the first look at it for us, so.
Okay. Hello. My name is Alyssa Hamlin, and for those of you that haven't met yet, I am in my second year of teaching at TK, and I am the lead of the FFA and Agri-Science program that is new to TK, which is amazing, and it's been a very cool experience to see it grow. So along with that comes essentially building the program from the ground up, which I have taken on with full enthusiasm. And a part of that is developing a 4-year pathway for students to follow. This is very typical in a agri-science program statewide. Those students that start off in agriculture biology as 9th grade students should have the opportunity to continue through the courses until they're a senior. When I was in FFA in high school, I was in it for 6 years. The longer, the better, in my opinion. So, like I said, they start in 9th grade as ag bio students. From there, they can move into plant and animal science as a sophomore. And then what you're currently looking at is an advanced agricultural A as the first or third year course, and then 4th year would be an advanced ag B. A key part of our agri-science program is the CTE funding that the state provides. It is called added cost funding. Because we are a career-ready program, that accompanies other costs. And that equation, it's very complicated, and I'm not a math teacher, but as a 9th grader, they are included in that equation as a multiple of 1. As a 10th grader, they are included in that equation as a multiple of 5, and then as a concentrator, as an 11th or 12th grade student, they are included as a multiple of 10. So that funding drastically increases as they continue through the program, which is why this course is so important. So there are kind of 3 main components to the course. The first one is the agricultural business component, which is very cool and exciting because we have a barn that was approved at the December meeting, which I'm so pumped about. And they'll be able to use this course, use what we're learning in class, and apply it to that essentially business that we have, make it profitable, and figure out ways we can improve it, which is a really awesome real world experience that not many students get. So that foundation is provided through CASE, which is the Curriculum for Agri-Science Educators. Last summer, I went to their Plant Science Institute, and I really love it. I'm using it currently in my plant science classes. Amazing curriculum. I love having it to pull from, and I'm looking forward to taking their professional development for their agribusiness course. The other 2 components are leadership development and career development. Leadership development, we are actually gearing up for the end of January. Students are hard at work right now. They get to utilize and enhance those leadership skills that a lot of students don't necessarily work that closely with in a high school setting. Then they will do a career development, which is a really awesome opportunity for them to pick a career field that they are somewhat interested in going to after high school, learning more about it, practicing, actually utilizing some things that those current people in that field do, and then they get to compete at the state level contest, which also I had students in last year as well. That is kind of an overview. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But yeah.
Thank you. Any questions?
Not specific to the curriculum, but is there any activity going into the middle school level to kind of get kids enticed about the program?
Yeah, so last year I had a couple of my officers go to the middle school to talk with them. I plan on doing that again pretty soon, actually, because they start to enroll in courses. And I also want to bring awareness to those students on what ag bio is and what kind of they're getting into. If they're interested, I want them to be there. So that is in the works, to have some of my officers and members present to the middle school. Having a middle school program is an option down the road if we feel like that would be a good step. It is definitely a way to recruit kids and get them started. I started in 8th grade, and I have no regrets. I am absolutely happy that I started in 8th grade. So I do think that's a really cool opportunity, and I am excited to explore that in the future. But I do plan on having them present to each of the classes and kind of talk to the kids more about it for right now.
Thank you.
I think I was gonna have a similar question, just because coming from Chicago and moving here, it was a huge culture shock.
Yeah.
So even with our kids, you know, us being city parents and still kind of learning this environment, we haven't had access to farming very much, except for what we've experienced through life. So I just know that my daughters, like when they looked at that class, I'm like, you guys should go for it. That's a chance to learn something new. And they were really intimidated. So I was wondering the same thing, like, is there anything to help? Because I know we're getting a lot of people moving from the city into Middleville. Just anything to entice people and let them know what that class is, and that you don't have to be, you know, live on a farm, or you don't have to have a ton of experience to get started.
Along with the presentation, I plan on providing a information document that the counselors can have at the middle school. That way they can have a little bit more information, because I'm not sure if they fully know much about the program or how to kind of explain it to kids. So I am planning on providing that so that they can use that to at least provide a guideline. And then if they have more questions, they can always ask me or other students. So.
And just to extrapolate on that, our approval of that barn allows kids that don't come from that background access and experience for it. So as we build this program, it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
How many students do you have estimated to take this course?
So it'll be off. It kind of depends. So it being a one-man show, I can only teach so many classes at one time. So I would expect in the first year to only offer it to the 11th and 12th graders. I'm expecting 30, one class load. And then hopefully, as the program grows, maybe we explore the avenue of adding a second teacher, which is also very common, so that we can expand that. And then I can have more of those opportunities, as I would have larger class sizes in the beginning, and then I can have larger class sizes in the end. But right now, I only have 3 sections of ag bio, and then I have 2 sections of plant science. So one of those, I'm going to survey my classes to kind of see how they're planning on funneling out for the next year, to see where we kind of make that cut. But yeah, good question.
I fully anticipate the addition of the barn, you having a problem in the near future. So.
Yeah.
Good problem.
A good problem.
Good problem.
I know, I'm faced with all these good problems, so, and no complaints. I'll figure them out, don't worry.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Committee and liaison reporting. I don't believe any committees have met, so we'll move on to board items for action and new hires.
Yeah, we had 3 of them. I think they're all outlined in here. Rookie.
There we go.
We have 3 new hires. I think it's all outlined in your packet, but my old friend Pat Pullen retired at the end of December. It sounds like we've brought Jenna Van Enck to do the high school science. We also have Brenna Nuremberg teaching middle school math, and then Megan Minton doing high school resource room.
Perfect, thanks. Any questions? Like to entertain a motion?
I'll make the motion that the Board of Education approve Jenna Van Enck, Brenna Nuremberg, and Megan Minton for employment for the 2024-2025 school year.
I'll support.
Who's that? Is that Brenda?
Brenda.
Been motioned by Brock, seconded by Hess to approve hiring of those 3 teachers. Any discussion on the motion? We don't need roll call, so all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you. Thornapple Area Parks and Rec Commission Board Member.
Am I up?
You're up,
All right.
Tyler.
So for this position, Catherine Getty has expressed interest in the appointment for that board. It's an important year for the Parks and Recs. They are going to be going through their strategic plan for their 5-year outlook. So she's been at the helm for many years, and she is asked to stay on as a committee member there, and she is school appointed for that. So it is up to us to approve that.
So is that a motion?
What are the other options?
According to Erica, in the bylaws, we can either appoint someone or it can be sent out as an email to anyone in the school to see if anybody else would like to be on that board.
Because my concern is that when I look around and look at the parks, they are in not the best shape. And there's been 5 years, so.
Yeah, I think that might be a question for their board. I would like to see what comes out of their strategic plan coming forward. I do know our charge here is to appoint someone. I think the last time that we went out and surveyed the staff at the school, we had limited responses.
None.
We had 0 response.
Zero response.
Yep, and then I know Catherine's been there a long time, and someone who wants to do it. So,
I thought when Ann Hamming was renewed, there were applicants.
But they were not TK representatives. They weren't TK staff.
they came in afterwards. And they went out to the public for them, and I think
that's when.
some of them were outside of the school district.
I think that's
well.
when Mr. Cove got elected, and he's TK.
Well, there's also a representative from the board on that committee as well, so, and that's Tyler.
Currently.
Correct. And I appreciate the willingness that, of Catherine Getty to serve representing us, so I'm supportive of it.
I'd like to motion to have that put out for the public.
I second.
Who seconded it? Okay. It's been motioned by Hilton, seconded by Stanton, to advertise in the public for this position. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
I believe there were 4 of us who voted no,
It was close.
and 3 that voted yes, so the motion did not carry. So is there a motion to appoint her?
I will make a motion to appoint Catherine Getty, term ending December 31st, 2028, to the Thornapple Area Parks and Recreation Commission Board.
And I'll support.
Been motioned by Winger, seconded by Brock, to appoint Catherine Getty to the term ending December 31st, 2028, to the TAPRC. Any discussion on that motion?
Kelvin Park looks terrible. So it would be nice if they could somehow, if she could make that a priority of some sort. Going door knocking, there were people in the public who were concerned about that.
I think they have public meetings. I think they're held in this room, right, Tyler?
No, they're held at Township Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Maybe
talked about
maybe
the
that's a good spot to
that
go
we'll be
to.
approving today.
Okay, and
That's the
also,
next one.
the TAPRC has been in charge of the local baseball and softball leagues, and most of their focus has been on that. So they have not had time or resources to take care of the parks like they have wanted to, and they have turned over the scheduling and hiring of umps and all those kinds of things to another group, which will free their time up to actually work on the parks as was intended initially many years ago. So that's the story on that.
Do you know where they turned it over to?
I don't know.
Middleville Youth Athletics.
Yeah, there's a organization.
I believe the meetings are planning to be quarterly from here on out, and then have hyper-focus on just the Parks and Recs. The baseball, softball program was a big focus in the past, so thank you. Thank you for explaining that, Brenda.
Yeah, it took a lot of their resources, so.
Yep.
So they do have very limited resources, but they do a good job of putting together the leagues for the kids of the community. So we have a motion on the floor to appoint Catherine Getty to the term. It's been motioned and supported. I'll call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, Thornapple Area Parks and Rec Commission Recreation Plan.
Okay, I think the 5-year plan was due. And so we're just looking to approve this motion, right? And I think it's a $5,000, yeah, yep. So,
Okay. So you see the information that you have before you and the documentation with it?
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education approve the cost of $5,000 to Williams and Works to complete an updated Parks and Recreation Plan.
I'll second it.
Was that you, Brenda?
Stanton.
Oh, Katie?
Yep.
Okay. Motion by Winger, seconded by Stanton to approve the cost of $5,000 to Williams and Works to complete an updated Parks and Rec plan. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay. I didn't get a chance to welcome you, Tom, but thank you, Tom Ensley, for stepping in as interim superintendent. I'm looking forward to your first report.
well, based on 6 days, brace yourself. Well, I know I've said it many times, but I am going to publicly thank the board. It is the opinion of both my wife and I, but that it is by the grace of God that I'm here and serving this community, this district, these students, this place that I love so much. Again, 30 years living here, raising my family here, and finding much of my adult life under employment with the school district. I am grateful beyond words to be here doing it again. And so that said, I'm going to give you a 6-day observation, and it won't take long. Everybody's wondering about cancellation tomorrow. Yeah, oh, yeah, okay. So the process hasn't changed much from my former superintending days. It's been 7 years. But I have my list of all the county superintendents at my fingertip. I'll be communicating with them starting at 3:30 in the morning or something. I also have all the Berry County superintendents at my fingertip, and then I have the road commission, and I have my transportation director and Brandon Leitz. My transportation director and Brandon come into the district from opposite directions and afford me perspective that I wouldn't otherwise have, because now I live 50 miles away as opposed to the 3.6 that I had for the time that I was here. So stay tuned.
50 minutes.
just a reminder to the board, 50 minutes. Well, it's an hour in this kind of weather. A reminder to the board, check your emails. We'll be sending things out periodically, and I know we've got some new folks on the board, so that's just a friendly reminder. Another note on the whole school front, Mark has been doing a tremendous job of trying to get me up to speed with all that is TK. We've sat down and gone through a lot of numbers and a lot of stuff, a lot of information in a short period of time. One of the good pieces of news he gave me was that next year we're going to be offering free 4-year-old programming Monday through Thursday. Our community is going to love this. My wife and I would have loved this back in the day. What a great thing. It's going to generate more revenue for the district. It's just a good thing overall. My first impressions from the week, same place by and large that I left, roughly 7 years ago. Beautiful facilities, all very clean. But to say that it's warm and welcoming the way that I have been embraced has been overwhelming and humbling, and I'm very grateful. I've spent a lot of time in the classrooms, in the hallways, at board or at staff meetings, just doing all I can to indoctrinate myself. I've done one-on-ones I'm in the process of doing one-on-ones with all of my administrators. I've begun the process with the board and have now met with, I believe, 5 of you now, and hopefully 2 more to go. Overall, I am just very pleased with what I see. Now, every time I ask the board, what do you want me to do? I hear the same thing. Keep us on the rails, keep us moving forward, keep us on the tracks. But I'm seeing things that I did in my former capacity, and I can't help myself. And so with the permission of the board, I intend to just roll my sleeves up and dig as deep as I need to help make this district all that it needs to be for our kids. We are here for kids. That's why we're here. I want to make it the best that it can possibly be. So that's 6 days worth. A couple of quick heads up on each of the buildings. At McFall, they spearheaded the first ever Christmas giving program, sent out, by the way, this kind of information I will forward onto the board between Eric and I, okay? Sent out a form to all the families. They could sign up if they need Christmas gifts for the children. Bottom line, thanks to the McFall Elementary staff members and the Congregation of Peace Church, we were able to serve 28 families. That's 88 kids total. I love that. I love that. McFall was awarded a music grant. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but they got an $1,885.30 check from the Berry County Youth Advisory Council. We love our BCYAC. Our students are enjoying learning about music and using the new instruments and equipment purchased. Over at Page, a couple of things going on there. The 5th grade classes are attending. We're still doing it. Star Base, our 5th graders, right? Yeah. Awesome. I love that program.
They love it. Going
to Battle Creek. Not tomorrow if they're going. Maybe. We'll see. Activity night at the middle school, 2:30 to 4 next Thursday. That's January 16th. Second session of winter sports starts next week. And then lots of after-school stuff. I love this too. Robotics. I always envisioned a community center attached to this building. Oh, I want me one of those. What do we got to do? Can we do that in 6 months? I'll try. But in the meantime, we have robotics, crochet club, art club, newspaper, chess club, ski club, just to name a few. Lee Student Council's kicking off fundraiser for Ronald McDonald House this month. Students will be collecting pop tabs for the month to support this great charity. And that's it for stuff that's going on. And I think that concludes, man, I was a little rusty, but I got through it. First one in 7 years, superintendent's report. Thank you, Mr. Board President.
Thank you, Mr. Enslin. Just a reminder of a board workshop on board governance led by Michigan Leadership Institute next Tuesday for us. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
Do we have one more item to approve, which would be a computer for Tom? I see he doesn't have one.
Old school.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we're adjourned.